What's up, people?
Hey, I'm Adam.
And I'm Evan. We're here today to squash a rumor that has been floating around campus that climate change is a hoax.
That's right. Despite overwhelming scientific evidence to the contrary, there are still many people who say that climate change is a hoax.
Global warming conspiracy theorists use unproven allegations that through worldwide act of professional and criminal misconduct, the science behind anthropogenic global warming has been invented and is being perpetuated for financial or ideological reasons. People who claim such allegations refer to the scientific consensus as a global warming hoax.
That sounds a bit far-fetched to me. If it is a hoax, then where's the proof?
Some investigators say that there is evidence that some of those people who are alleging a conspiracy are themselves part of well-funded misinformation campaigns designed to manufacture controversy and undercut the scientific consensus on climate change and downplay global warming's projected effect. So, as far as evidence is concerned, they don't need any to do their damage. All they need to do is put the idea into the mainstream news to make it seem like there is doubt about global warming.
For my own sanity, I prefer to get my information from the hundreds of peer-reviewed scientific studies that have been performed over the past several decades. Out of 1,372 climate scientists, 97% of them conclude that global warming is real and believe that humans are forcing our climate to change, primarily through greenhouse gases produced from human activities, such as deforestation and the combustion of fossil fuels like coal and oil.
I have a tough time believing that thousands of reputable scientists are somehow part of a huge global conspiracy, but that nobody has come forward to confess.
Right, I agree. Evidence for climate change is abundant. Average global temperature is one indicator of climate change, and it already shows an increase of about 1 degree Celsius since the early 20th century. That might not sound like much, but it is the most rapid change of temperature in the last 1,000 years. And for proper perspective, average global temperatures were only 6 degrees lower during Earth's last ice age. So imagine how different our planet might be if it were to increase a couple of degrees.
Many places on Earth have already begun to see strange weather patterns, such as abnormally severe droughts in places like East Africa and South America, and even in the US. And other areas have seen longer and more severe hurricane seasons.
You can also look at the fact that sea levels have been rising at an average rate of 1.7 millimeters per year over the last 100 years. This is partly due to warmer water, which expands as it heats up. Another reason for the rising sea levels is the additional water from the melting of high-latitude snow and ice caps. And you don't have to be a scientist to see these things happening.
Yes, and the retreat of glaciers has increased exponentially in just the past several decades. This pattern is consistent with the increasing global temperatures.
We also know that greenhouse gases we produce trap heat and can predict how our climate might respond to it. This is all basic chemistry, and it's pretty hard to call chemistry a hoax.
Exactly. And ice cores from Antarctica and Greenland have tiny bubbles of atmospheric gases embedded inside annual snowfall layers. Because of falling snow captures the atmosphere through which it travels, collecting the chemistry, particles, and compounds that are present. This natural ice archives with trapped chemicals, dust, and air can hold a tremendous amount of information for scientists. Scientists measure chemically and mathematically, and thus ice core data is more legitimate to use.
Right, and from those ice cores we can see what our climate was like hundreds of thousands of years ago and compare that to Earth's current temperature and atmospheric composition. More evidence comes from indirect sources like tree rings and coral reefs, which provide us with a natural archive of climate variations. These indicators show the recent temperature rise is clearly unusual compared to the last 1,000 years.
Oh, also, by measuring the CO2 content through the ice cores, CO2 levels can be graphed along with the temperature over time, because ice cores provide continuous, direct, high-resolution annual and seasonal information. So in the end, I think everyone should just try to learn about climate science to become more informed on the issue.
Yes, and try to get your information from legitimate, peer-reviewed scientific studies written by real climate scientists rather than biased or unreputable sources. Peace.
Peace.